This podcast is brought to you by Living Swell Studios. When you want to record your next hit, broadcast your next live stream, or just need a quiet space to edit your videos, Living Swell Studios can accommodate all your needs. Located in New Orleans, they're equipped with a rehearsal hall, print shop, photography space, and more. Living Swell is your one-stop shop to facilitating your vision. Let them fulfill your music and video dreams. Hey y'all, what's happening? This is your boy, DaPhessah Drew Bayham, coming at you with another episode of Drew's Putting It Out There, where we get into a little banter and everything else. For this episode, we got the core group. Big round of applause for my Sharia Moore, my two-way bell.
What's up, Maya?
Thorn on my side, thorn on my side, thorn on my side, thorn on my side. Get it from Maya, y'all.
Thorn
on my side, thorn on my side. And the L Hammond the podcast in the building, y'all.
Yo.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Mr. Roby Jenkins. Yes, sir.
L Hammond the podcast, the Black Stan Smith, Lamborghini swerving, hydroplane slim. Shout out to Sunday Black and Machiavelli a day, you know, the bitch from the podcast, you know.
We doing this real big.
New episode out today, Saturday a day, you know. We doing the real medium. We trying, man. But
trying to get it out there.
Man, thank you, Drew, for always having me on this podcast.
Yes.
Man. I
Nah,
really
man, you know,
appreciate it, man. I need
much
the best,
love,
and I appreciate
much
it,
love.
man.
You know, I love it when, you know, you can do all this stuff, man, because I think it's important for just us as, connected people.
Yeah.
To have like just this, to really have the opportunities to kind of set something up.
Right.
We don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
We don't, so it's just kind of
Never
like.
know. Gotta put it out there.
Drew got to put it out there.
Put it out there.
Good. So let's just get into it. And we can, we starting off. We starting off with Kirk Franklin and the family.
Woo!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who want to start first?
Ooh.
Well, let me explain. So in case for people who didn't know, you should know. I mean, because this is an issue
major.
that this is an issue that would actually surprise me because of a lot of people who were just kind of like how many. I was surprised at how many people were either on one side or the other side of the fence on.
Right.
Because I was like, really, there should only be one.
One side.
Yeah, one side. But it is what it is. So basically, Kirk Franklin's son, Carry On, put out a Instagram post of his dad, of Kirk Franklin, on the phone cursing him out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And telling him he gonna buzz his ass. He gonna,
I need to sound like
he got off into some gangster shit.
That got some gangster shit.
He got off into some gangster shit, but he kind of put in the caption, and was like, this is what I have to deal with. And, this, I'm dealing with my dad and all this stuff, like, I don't know why he hates me and all that, all of those things,
33.
33 years old man, 33-year-old man.
Right.
And, I guess kind of trying to gain sympathy, for their situation. But come to find out, yeah, he's 33 years old. He's the firstborn.
Right.
Now, Kirk Franklin has admitted in that Oprah interview that he did 20 years ago that, he felt like his life, he felt like he lost his childhood when he had Carry On because he was 17.
Oh, he was 17 we had?
Yeah, he was really
He was 17.
young.
I think the wife at the time was 16, I want to say. And, they had Carry On early in life. So, so I can understand that they probably had like a very, tug of war type of relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
But he didn't have to put him out there like that.
Yeah, it seemed like Kurt was just trying to like figure out life, but still try to be a father to him.
Exactly. And the biggest part about it is that now, so everybody kind of weighed in on it. Ricky Smiley made a post, on there talking about me, and I understood what he's saying because like that point of view, the point of view that Ricky Smiley and Steve Harvey and a bunch of other people had is like that comes strictly from parents. Who've been in a situation that is like
right.
It gets real.
we know that situation.
Right. And you see Ricky Smiley with his son.
Yeah.
And Ricky Smiley like kind of like went hard on his son. He put his hands on his son.
Exactly.
On the show.
Right. But part of it is that they feel like like these are men. First and foremost.
Right.
These are men, and they will not be disrespected.
Yeah.
and that's the whole
Bottom
deal for
line.
me.
Right.
It's like, what makes you think that, these 50 and 60-year-old men are gonna take some bullshit from you? Like
Yep.
that's one concept I've never understood about, but it goes a little deeper. So
Right.
before I can get a little deeper, one of y'all gonna do it? Right.
Let's go, Maya. We'll go for you.
Parenting. Well, first of all, they don't come with a manual.
Right.
And I have a 19-year-old, so I done laid hands plenty of times on that boy. Cause he think I'm mama just kind of wah. But needless to say, children, young adults, whether they 33, they teenagers, whatever, you want to lay hands on them.
Right.
Choke them till they woozy. You don't want to kill them, you go to jail for that shit.
Right.
But you want to choke them till they woozy. Okay?
Yeah,
They will take you there. They really will. They bring you to the end.
They will take you there.
Drew, I had an instance with Trey. Drew was like, Lord, she done 1-2'd the boy quick. I think he was so in shock that I did it.
Oh, you hit him with the Charlie Murphy.
1-2. 1-2 real quick. Because I never really put my hands on him.
Right.
Because I would talk to him. Because I feel like, if you're always laying hands on them, then it's a matter of they don't always get why.
Right.
It's just like we used to get ass whippings.
Right.
Yeah.
Mama just whip your ass. She ain't explain why she whipping your ass. You just knew you did something wrong.
Well, my experience was just a little different because my daddy was a drill sergeant, so he always explained
So
why
he
he gonna whip your ass.
But that was my take. My mom never did that. But I
Right.
mean, for me, I would explain to him. So this last time, I'm like, son, you made your point. Walk away.
Right.
If I tell you calmly, I'm only gonna tell you.
I know with me,
Young man.
Walk away.
I think with me it's that my dad was okay. I'm gonna bust your ass. I ain't explaining shit. My mom did talk. My mom was like, "This is what you did." She's being diplomatic. When it's time for war, okay, he's a killer. I'm just gonna bust your ass right quick.
Real quick.
My thing is, number one, why y'all surprised Kirk Franklin going off on his son like that? Y'all know y'all know Christians be turned up too. And number two,
Oh yeah.
I don't like. It's like you ain't gotta record your pops, bro. Like that's
He
some
really
family
didn't
shit.
have to
But
do
it's
that.
like
He
y'all
really
surprised
didn't.
Kirk Franklin curse.
Not at
I don't
all.
think-
I know
y'all
I
surprised
wasn't.
Kirk-
Well, yeah, it's Kirk Franklin.
It's like
but
Kirk
I don't think people are
We ain't
surprised
far
that.
removed from
I don't
it.
think people are surprised that Kirk Franklin cursed. I think what they're surprised at is that they don't like to see people who are of the gospel,
Right.
people
On
who
that
are of the
platform.
church
In that position.
In that
fall
position,
like
yeah.
that.
Right. And that's a. But the only thing I didn't like
Because
what
they
Kirk
put him
did-
on this high pedestal.
Right.
you know?
Right, but the only thing I didn't like his apology. I'm like, nigga, you ain't gotta
You ain't gotta
apologize to me about
apologize.
what
I
you
know,
do in
that's
your
right.
household.
Well, and like I said, I understand the apology too, because the apology was really embedded in
Damage control.
not necessarily damage control. It's just like, look, I had a moment of weakness. I have to apologize because I have to make amends, not to my son, because I meant everything I said.
To my
To my family, my
and my overhead.
right, my family, like the ones who like come to the concerts and that type of thing, who really believe in me,
Right.
preaching and singing the gospel. So I think that's what that apology for. It wasn't for his son.
Yeah,
It
because the
wasn't-
message was clear.
the message was clear.
Right.
The message stands.
And we wonder why like people like Marvin Gaye Sr.
Right.
was just like, bro, look, I brought you into this world. I'll take you out.
Right.
But I wanted to go into just a little quicker, deeper dive with that, because I think that is really just a part of what's going on with this generation.
Right.
Yeah.
And I include myself in that in a generation, because I'm fairly young.
20 strong.
Yeah,
20 strong.
29 to forever. No, but I believe it because we were our generation was the first generation to have the prosperity that our grandparents always dreamed about.
Mm-hmm.
Like we
these
were
kids
born
don't
into
know
the
that.
prosperity.
Right.
Whether we were poor as shit or, wealthy beyond all means.
Right.
We were that first generation because we had the video games.
Mm-hmm.
We had we had access to the cars, that type of thing. we had access to, just technology, period.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So technology just kind of made us.
That was the
I ain't gonna say lazy, but
evolution of it.
yeah, the evolution of technology, and so I'm in that situation. I feel like it's just we finally got to the generation where that generation has become so lazy.
Right.
Microwave.
Yeah, just microwave, so lazy.
They want it quick.
They want it
They don't want to
quick,
put it in
just
work.
like that.
I call it
put it in work.
they don't understand the concept of foreplay.
No.
You got to warm that thing up. You got to get it right. You got to get it right before you
warm it up before you put it in. Giggity.
Yeah.
Like I mean that's just for me. I just think that's just a deeper dive into it, and I think that it's just a very interesting perspective to see people defending Carry On. His own daddy and his mama didn't even. Now that's his mama. She went on I forgot whose show it was. It was somebody's show, and now coming to find out, we already knew she had kicked him out.
Yeah.
She had kicked him out of the house.
Well, yeah, for
She
a
couldn't
parent
deal
to
with it.
really go there, you have to really do something.
Right.
But ain't
You
no
know what
telling
I'm
his
saying?
son did.
And that was my point. I'm like, you don't know what he did. He did something to set him off because, it takes a lot.
Yeah.
Well, it takes a lot for the average, but someone that's on that platform, like, Kurt, it's going to take a lot for you
takes
to
a
come.
lot.
So he really hit that nerve. And was like, look at here.
But and the interesting
Don't
thing
take me
thing
back.
for me is I can tell that wasn't the first time he hit that nerve.
Oh, yeah.
I think this happened when he was this started happening when he was 17.
Right.
16, 17, and he was getting into his thing because I was, me digging in. I saw, somebody comment on social media was like, yeah, I went to high school with Carry On and I guess one of the other children. He went to a private high school. Right. Well, he went to private school in Dallas.
Oh, wow.
So the best of the best. He wasn't, he was just in a situation where that he was taken care of.
Right.
But of course, there was always just a thing between him and Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But Kirk is like, look, bro,
Probably
I can
because you had
help as
that
much as I can help you.
separation.
Right.
Yeah, it was that separation, that division. You have your other family
Right.
over there, and then I'm here.
Hey, not to get off something, ask y'all. Yeah. So, do Kirk Franklin have multiple baby moms, or just all his kids belong to one woman?
No, it's two women.
It's two women, yeah.
Oh.
The first wife and the second wife.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. But, and I think, and that part of it was, second family envy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But like, but at some point you got to get over that shit. I'm sorry.
Right.
But that's what makes
because I
it
come from a
easy,
privileged
though.
setup.
But that's what makes it easier for the kids to hit those nerves,
right.
too. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
it's already some
Right.
type of line that's there. But go ahead.
Oh, no.
My bad.
I'm
I
letting
was
you
just
go, baby.
saying,
Go ahead. Yeah. I just put it out there. We going to talk.
Let's call Drew. Drew putting it out
Drew's
there.
putting it out
Put it out there.
Yeah. Which kind of brings us to a different topic, which is the same thing, but it kind of coincides with this whole Kirk Franklin and the family situation. I was in conversation last night, but Maya and I were having this conversation before like the whole Kirk Franklin thing went off. And we were just talking about why people kind of do what they do. Right. And, why they have these bad habits, why they have these manic spells, all of these things. And we kind of bogged it down to, it basically just comes down to emotional triggers. Mm-hmm. We all kind of have an emotional trigger somewhere. We just don't know where it lies. Mm-hmm. So where does do you believe that some of your emotional triggers kind of lie? Or just what you've seen or what you've dealt with in your life? Because I think a lot of our triggers start at childhood.
It does.
In our childhood and how we were developing as, how we were developing. Yeah.
Some of them, I would have to say, one is the guilty. It's a pet peeve for mine. When you play that guilt trip, don't do me that. Don't do me that. Ooh, because it's a turnoff. You know, I absolutely can't stand it. And I think that's where we were speaking of. My mom had a habit of the guilt trip.
Yeah.
You know, and you've probably witnessed it with some girls. You know, the guilt trip of they're talking about something and they're trying to allude to you doing it, but when you don't catch it, they say stuff like, well, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and do it by myself, you know. I need to do this and da 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 da. So that's the kind of.
It took me years to catch it. It took years for me to tell myself, that's on her. Don't get yourself emotionally involved in it.
Exactly. So a lot of times that was one of my triggers, and it didn't happen. I didn't notice it until adulthood. You know, until someone else. I think something happened. One of your family members did it, and I was like. Yeah. It pissed me off. But I mean, it happened in you know, the one-on-one relationship. We've experienced it with other people.
Right.
Friendships, all of those things. It's just one of my pet peeves. My biggest pet peeves. I don't know about how about you.
You know me, I always have an optimistic attitude towards people, period. And
yes.
When people do things like lay that guilt trip, you know, on me, it doesn't really work per se because I'll be Captain Positive with them and they want me to be Captain Negative. Yeah. And so it doesn't really work. And I've developed that with time. I understood the psychology of it as an adult.
He's still working on me.
I've understand that as psychology as an adult. Those triggers don't necessarily affect me the same way that everybody else's does.
Right.
But I did realize that it just was certain people or certain situations. And then all of my animus kind of just comes out, you know. But as long as I kept that under control, I'm usually good.
Right. Yeah. I know my emotional trigger is that it started from home. And I remember in middle school where if somebody was like growing up, my dad used to like after he whipped me and my sister, he'll come in the room, open the door, and just look at us. Like, what? Don't say that. Yo, what the fuck you want? Like, what?
You done whipped us.
And then it's like, you what you want? Then like, it give me to a point where the rage would come out. And in middle school, you know how you had dudes walking around trying to bully everybody. And he was looking at me like, what's up? You want to address it? Right. And he just looked at it. I'm like,
let's get it.
I remember one time during Katrina, I was on the phone with somebody. I was like, I'm tired of, fuck you, I'm just gonna say it. I'm tired of Baton Rouge people. I'm like, I hate it out here. Like, during Katrina, yeah, some dudes looking at me. I'm like, y'all good? What's happening? They just looked at me.
Yeah.
But the irony is that years later, I seen them same dudes again. They knew my family. Yeah. And we cool since then. I was like, oh, shit. I remember my face. I was like, oh, shit. I remember y'all from years ago. And BR the whole time. Like, I see y'all do my family, but that's my trigger to where if somebody just walk up here and just be looking at me like, yo, like,
what's the problem?
My thing is this. I don't want to live in your conscience. I don't want to live in your thoughts. If whatever you want to address, let's address it.
Yeah.
Because 10 times out of 10, you might be wrong.
This is true. This is true. That's a good way to put it, too.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
How they said, one of the comedians said the worst, I think it was Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, one of the comedians said the worst place for a black man to be at is in the conscience of the mind of a white person.
Yeah.
And I feel like that with black folks too. It's like the worst place to be at for a person who you don't know, who's just looking at you and they're not saying nothing. I'm like,
and you feel like they judging you.
I feel like I get on fight or flight mode. Now I'm like, okay, do I need to pull a 40 out? Do I need to fight my way out? Because I feel like I'm not approaching you or bothering you. You just coming looking at me on some weirdo shit.
Right.
And you're not saying nothing. And I'm giving you the opportunity to address it. But you don't want to address it. Now I'm an asshole. Get the fuck out my face.
You're something else, bro. You're something else.
Yeah, because that's what you feel like
trigger. I get it. Yeah. No, I get it. You know, trust me. I get it.
Totally.
All right, let's move on. Because we could talk about that all day long too.
Oh yeah, because we got a long.
Yeah, you know, we know a lot of people who got triggers and all that type of shit.
And I got a lot. Learned that over time.
Yeah, you know. So there was a video that Irv sent us to watch, and it was just a video of DJ Academics talking about the shadiness, so to speak, the shadiness of Jay-Z and the moves that he's made, and how he thinks that, you know, Jay is kind of pandering to the culture,
right,
to make money for himself because he's only in for himself. At first, I was like, all right, well, I get what he's saying, and I kind of agree, but then I had to push back because, you know, I was like, well, wait, Jay has always done for Jay.
Of course.
And it reminded me of that Diamonds Forever remix.
Right.
I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man. So let me handle my business, damn. So it's like, well, shit, he's been doing this for a very long time.
Right.
He's the reason why Kanye, I remember an interview with
Kanye asked him, why you ain't go with Dame? It's the Jay. He said, think about it. It's documented that Dame said, well, you know what? He can rap. I'm gonna put a budget behind him.
Right.
Jay did not want him to rap. He wanted him to produce.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Jay was like, I like your beats, your rap. Produce for me.
Right. But the thing with with Kanye said, another thing that Kanye said was, he was like, man, Jay knows how to
maneuver through a room full of vultures.
Mm-hmm. So like, it's like, all right then. So it gave me the pushback that I needed to say. I was like, all right, one of the things that I think we miss, especially as a people, is that when it comes to business, we all have the Dame Dash method of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which is fine if you do it right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But be your own boss, first of all, is not for everybody.
It's not.
It's not for everybody.
It's an emotional thing you have to be able to deal with.
It's only for the driven.
Right.
It's only for the driven. You know, because
risk takers.
Yeah, the risk takers and the ones who are able to seize opportunities that are there.
Or create their own.
Right. So, and of course, one of the people that I like to listen to all the time is Charlemagne. Charlemagne was like, look,
love Charlemagne.
You will not ever fare better, because the matter of fact, the report was on there, was saying that Kanye is the wealthiest black person.
Mm-hmm. Whenever you get a chance, when you ask me, I'm gonna break it down.
Yeah, we're gonna break it down. And so Charlemagne's whole idea was, well, look, if you want to be successful in business, if you want to be successful, if you want to make all this money, everything else, the main thing that you have to do is learn how to deal with partnerships.
Right.
Rihanna is about to be a billionaire because of Fenty, right?
Mm-hmm. But she couldn't become that without a team.
Without a team,
because she doesn't have the expertise.
Does he know Brown theory?
Yeah, right. But Rihanna only owns 15% of the company.
What?
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to be a billionaire?
The company is valuated at $12 billion or some shit like that.
Wow.
That's why she's about to become a billionaire.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And when you break down Kanye shit, it's the same thing. Because Kanye owns, because Kanye dealt with the Yeezy shit.
Right.
He has the partnership with Adidas. Mm-hmm. So he has stock in Adidas. And the clothing line, and I forgot some other shit.
And they got 1.5 in Yeezy Supply.
Yeezy Supply.
What was the other one? Skims Investment? Skims Investment was one of them too.
All right, so basically, let's break down Kanye's right quick. Is $3.7 billion with Yeezy and Adidas, that deal. So let me ask you this before we further on. Is that worth the brand, or is worth his stock?
That's worth his stock in the brand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Because, well, Apple is literally the next company to be $1 trillion company with $1 trillion evaluation. So just to think, we're talking about. Matter of fact, what's the head of Nike, the founder of Nike? I forgot his name. That fucking fast. He at one point was worth like $27 billion.
Right.
He himself. That's not what Nike was worth.
Him.
That was him. Phil Knight.
All right.
Phil Knight. So when we sit up and talk about Jordan,
right,
you know, being billionaire with Jumpman,
right,
you got to realize Phil Knight still has stock
in Jumpman,
ownership in Jumpman. It was the partnership that made everything go off the off the meter.
The thing about it, Kanye couldn't do this by himself.
No, hell no.
Right.
Nobody can do it by themselves.
No,
none of them.
All right, so we got 1.6 billion with Yeezy with Gap, and none of the clothes ever came out yet. This still in development.
Because, like I said,
yep.
you just working out a deal for a certain ownership of the company.
Right.
So if you know, because one thing that I know is the valuation of the actual company.
Right.
That was the genius. I didn't say genius, but that was the slyness of Kanye.
Right.
Kanye knew this. That's why he was just putting out them slave clothes.
Right. He knew what he was doing.
He already knew what he was doing. He knew nobody was gonna really buy the shit.
Right.
but he knew if he could just get in with one of these fashion houses.
And nigga, no, I feel like, let me bring it down to his music. It's off subject, but it's kind of relatable.
Yeah.
How the Prince said in the interview, I don't write Kanye's shit.
Right.
I proofread it. I sit up there and take the stuff he's talking about and put it together for him. Like he'll have an 8-hour rant. I'll listen to everything he's saying and articulate it in a way to where it sounds good.
Yeah.
So I think with Gap, he might bring his ideas to Gap and be like, okay, look, yeah, we're gonna edit it this way, we're gonna fix it this way, but it's still yours. We gonna help you.
Which most of them do that.
That's like me bringing some
most of them do that too.
And I'm dealing with Pharrell.
Yeah.
He's like, look, the shit you guys good, let's try it this way.
Right.
And we gonna still be you, but let's alter it this way. You go back and make the
and that's all it is.
Right.
Like in a nutshell, period.
That's it.
You feel me? So that's the problem that I have with like when people like academics goes on his rant, because like you're not giving me the right context. You're not giving me the right context. Jay is going to move through a room full of vultures because he can.
Right.
He knows
He
how
was
to
a
maneuver.
corner boy.
Right.
If you don't know how to maneuver through the, come on,
So
man.
they got 1.5 billion in Yeezy supply. That's the white Yeezys. Let me see. Now they got cash and stocks, 123 mil. So I wouldn't be surprised if he got like 100 mil in the bank.
Exactly. But that's all you need.
That's all you need. You don't need that.
That's the game that Donald Trump has been playing
since
the late 70s.
That's why I've been telling you for a long
years.
time. Kanye was getting close to Trump, not to run for president, but to learn how to maneuver, next level maneuver on some next level vultures.
Right.
It's like Jay showed me how to do rap. You about to show me how to do business.
Right.
Yep.
Because the thing about this, Trump Industries is literally not a company that owns anything.
No.
Right.
They license the name Trump.
That's all you gotta do is license the name. You good.
For over, I think at one point it was, in the lifetime of the business,
right,
they've licensed the name to 500 products, 500 different products. He knows that his name is the most important, thing.
Right.
That's gonna keep him.
And so,
and using other people's money. That's the one thing he wrote in his book.
So one thing that we know is that he understands the importance of partnerships. He understands that because he didn't own the airline. He didn't even own the Trump stakes.
No.
Right.
He didn't own none of that. Somebody else was fronting the money, and he put his name on it.
All right, so they got Skims Investment. Well, I think Skims Investment is, I could be wrong, it's just some side investments like marijuana, stuff, this pet investment. Oh, my partner got a little business he doing, Virgil doing some bullshit. Let me invest some money in him. Side high, I want to open the airport. Let me invest some money in him. Right. So that's what I think Skims Investment is. So that's $100 million.
Yeah.
Building and improvements, 68 mil. The land, 48 mil.
Yeah.
Okay,
and probably most of it is in Montana.
No, Wyoming.
Wyoming.
They said, but I watched the Pusha T interview on Drink Champs. They talked about some stuff in Utah. I think they got some in Wyoming, but I think duck off spot is in Utah.
The richest, the wealthiest state in the union is Colorado.
Right.
They have more billionaires per capita in Colorado than any other state in the country.
Wow. So another one is 10 million in artwork. So he probably got Basquiat all the originals. 7 million.
Which is interesting because Jay-Z put us on that shit.
Right.
With Still Niggas.
Yeah, still by art.
Yeah.
It should appreciate.
It's going to appreciate. So, you know, and I don't want to down just the idea of like what Dame Dash was talking about because I think this is the way it started.
I think Dame was trying to put us on game years ago, but we wasn't listening.
Well, he was trying to put us on game, but he wasn't because his idea of putting it the game because the whole thing that he was always trying, every interview that he did, I want to say what 6 years ago, 7 years ago,
right?
Every interview that he did was be your own boss, be your own boss.
But he just put it front. He never get into details.
My hand with Dame, he didn't give you a step-by-step blueprint.
Yeah, there's no details.
Think about it. It took for Charlamagne and Envy to really like go off on him like, dog, give us the fucking blueprint on this shit.
Yeah.
Oh, consignment.
Right.
Say that shit. Say consignment, dog. Like, if you want, dog, if that was the case, say consignment.
Right.
Yeah,
it took for these dudes to really have a debate to make you upset for you to say,
just for you to explain
consignment. But Dave, you breaking it down in a stream of drug talk. I need consignment on the pack of dope.
Right.
But what if I want to go legit? I need consignment on this business idea.
Right.
Like, that's different.
Right.
So the next one he got $7 million worth of jewelry.
Yeah.
But you always know with Kanye, he never wore busted down watches.
Right.
His watches was always like solid gold, solid gold.
Well, I mean, he's always been, you know, the
different.
the fashionista type.
Right.
You know, like when he was wearing
eclectic.
pink polos.
Yeah, he was always the eclectic.
So he got $5 million on cars.
And,
So he probably got, probably knowing. This will probably be the next one. $3 million on machinery and equipment.
Yeah.
The Yeezy trucks that he be giving everybody. Yeah. I don't consider that a car. I consider that like machinery or something. You know how that video he did?
Yeah, videos.
Yeah, a video he did off the Jesus King album. He was in the snow in Wyoming. It was him and his dad.
Yeah.
And they was driving around in the trucks. And Chris Brown said, yeah, Yeezy gave me one of these trucks. They did a concept truck.
Right.
So he probably got a lot of ones he built.
The Tesla concept trucks? Was it the Tesla joints?
I don't know if it was Tesla, but it's like a tank, like something from Total Recall from the 90s.
I'm gonna pull it up because that was like the interesting thing about that. If that's the vehicle I'm thinking about, that was made by Tesla. It was a Tesla concept car that they were putting out, but they let people put $100 down.
That's why he said that's why Vlad said in the interview about the new Tesla trucks is a possibility they could be bulletproof. He said you put $100 down and get your Tesla truck.
I want to say that's the trucks that they might be talking about. Yeah, but I was getting ready to put $100 on.
I ain't gonna lie, I would.
I was about to. I told Maya one day, I was like, Maya, look, this shit is fire. But
they said
I know I ain't gonna be able to come up with $80,000 for it. Right. So, but let me put $100 on it.
So they got the machinery and the equipment, which is 3 bands, which is probably like something that's working on his farm. Yeah. Probably this concept trucks he got. And last but not least, $1.1 million on livestock. Because they like he got that Wyoming.
Yeah, out there in Wyoming, you got nothing but land. You got nothing but So but like I said, I look at it and we're looking at that and we are missing. Just the culture itself. It's just missing the point. It's like
because everybody going after the bag.
Everybody going after the bag, but then you want trying to shit on Jay for getting the bag.
Right.
Yeah, because that's what he doing. He's doing the same thing.
$600 million in a week.
Right.
So y'all subject with Kanye's Wyoming property is 1,400 acres.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That's huge. But it's in Wyoming.
Like Ross,
so it's nothing but land out there. It's nothing but land.
I would get like Rick Ross' house from Coming to America. His the Promised Land. Yeah, that's 200 acres, and that thing is big,
massive.
He have enough. He have enough land so he could put apartments in a what that is like a property we could like how Lake Carmel. Right. Yeah, he have something like that where I can do apartments. I can do Lake Carmel. Hey, bro. Yeah. 1,400 acres. You can build your own town.
But like I said, I think the way that it's just really supposed to go is that you know, you look at Jay and you look at the people who's eating off of Jay.
Right.
Because academics use the example of but you know, the time of Tidal.
Right.
And you know, he's like, man, he's talking about he's for the culture and everything else, but come to find out it was a, you know, white company from, you know, somewhere in Scandinavia, you know, and so that type of thing. But then I turn around and it's like, well, hold on. He got nothing but black artists and all that shit on Tidal, right?
Right.
And then when they sold it, all of those artists who went and signed the title, exclusive to the title, actually got stake in the company.
Right.
So what he did was he sold the company, cut them, you know what I mean, cut him in to the deal. So they got broke off. You know, because I mean, they just was in the deal. They got broke off. Then he turns around and then he buys back. He buys the, you know, some stock back from Tidal.
Right.
And he cuts them back into the deal.
So they still eating.
So they still eating.
Everybody
and they just took the profit out of it.
Right.
Kept the profit and put right back into the deal.
Let me
like,
ask you this.
Come on, man, you doing for your people.
What you think about the versus situation with Thriller?
Oh, actually, that's even more killing.
That's genius.
Because you got 40 artists, like I think it said 40, 45 artists or something like that, who's been in the verses, you know, who got stock in verses. They're all getting paid.
They all getting paid.
I'm talking about from
People
Rock, Jeezy, Keisha Cole, Brandy, Keisha Cole, what her name is, who she battled? Who Keisha Cole battled? Ashanti, Brandy.
Ashanti.
Monica. So I was like, damn.
Yeah.
So anybody who's in the verses, you got stock
Getting
in
money.
it.
And that's what I mean. It's
I
like,
ain't gonna lie, the pandemic was kind of genius. It made people adapt.
Yeah.
That's one thing about
It made people really adapt.
You know,
we will find a way.
right. We were good.
Creative.
So yeah, it's like, man, at the end of the day, it's like, man, at some point we as black folk and we as a society have to understand what it is business.
Right.
What is business? You know, and how do you define business? Do you know? And Charlamagne kind of just pointed out that he was like, man, what good is owning 100% of nothing?
Right.
You know, ownership is only one part of this equation.
You know what? I have a video I have to send you. I'm gonna say we're gonna talk about the next episode. When Joe Budden had a response to Charlamagne.
Yeah.
It was like a 8 to 10 minute video.
Okay.
Probably not that long. And he was talking about the whole ownership thing. He was like, how you gonna tell people preach about ownership, but you like a position over there at iHeart, but you really have no ownership at iHeart.
But that's the whole idea. The whole idea is that it's partnership.
Right.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna lie, like
iHeart said, we're gonna put up the money.
Right, we gonna partner with you.
We're gonna partner with you. Now Charlamagne literally has his own podcast network.
Right.
The Black Effect. The Black Effect Network.
You got the network. Yeah.
And everybody on that motherfucker is black.
Yep.
And I'm more than sure everybody's getting paid handsomely.
Yeah.
You know, and so all that type of stuff. And who's on the only one that's really cutting a check is iHeart.
Right. iHeart is this person bread.
It is this person the bread. And so it's like, man, you can't get mad at that.
I think Joe thing is like, man, you need 100% ownership. Like that's like he came at. I'm paraphrasing. He came at what Spotify was like. Look, we need like a $200 million deal.
He turned it down, huh?
And they laughed at that boy.
Yeah.
And then Joe was like, all right, I'm gonna do my own shit. And the thing is, he got other podcasts under his brand, so he's on some masterpiece shit to where it's like, I got the umbrella. No, how damn that shit, the umbrella.
The umbrella.
Underneath the rock umbrella is this, that, and third.
Well,
we doing that.
Here's what that came down to. Part of it is that you have to be, you know, pragmatic. You have to be real with yourself.
Right.
Joe Budden was trying to get Joe Rogan money.
I think he could do it.
Here's the reality. The reason why Joe Rogan got $250 million for his podcast was because every video that he put out, everything that he did, 3 million, 5 million, 10 million views.
I'm talking about 3 million clips.
Yeah, 3 minute clips. And even the 3 hour episodes.
I can't even find it.
Yeah,
some of them I can't find on YouTube.
Spotify took it off.
Yeah, it says Spotify. Yeah. It says Spotify took
everything off.
Right.
YouTube got the clips, but Spotify had the full episode.
No, I mean, and the thing is, Joe Budden, no offense to him or anything of that nature,
right.
Joe Budden is for the culture. You can't be for the culture and demand $250 million.
It's like X-Men the Magneto. He's Magneto from X-Men.
Right.
That's what it is. He's Magneto.
Right. So, I mean, that's why I say, I'm like I said, not to down him.
Right.
But he wanted the money that Joe Rogan was making. Joe Rogan had, like, everybody.
I'm talking about Joe
from top to bottom.
I'm talking about Dave Chappelle, Freddie Gibbs. He had, like, people on the show.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, people come and show, smoke, whatever they want to do. And we Joseph for, like, 3 hours.
Can Joe Budden get Elon Musk to do an interview?
Hell no.
I don't think. I love Joe.
I ain't say that.
I don't think. Nah, no,
and I love Joe
Mike, you said some real shit. I don't think Joe have him, Rory, and a big brother from Rockefeller Brothers. I don't think they can pull it out. I don't think they have Elon Musk on there and just be talking for like 3 hours.
Talking for 3 hours. They ain't gonna run it.
Shit. Now, Joe, if it's some rap shit,
right.
Joker has some artists he cool with. Come on, that bitch. And then Joe's chop it up and talk about some shit. But Elon Musk, I can't.
That's what I'm saying. And here's the thing. And I don't even blame him for being bold.
Right.
Dreaming bold.
Well, yeah, you gotta put yourself.
You gotta put yourself in.
Put it out there.
You gotta put it out there. You gotta put it out there. But you can't do that. And that's one of the things that I think that Charlamagne understands.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Charlamagne is like, okay, if I'm gonna be for the culture, then I already know that the only people that's gonna like listen to these podcasts are people of the culture.
People of the culture. Time to set it up.
And that's why 85 South was like, no, we're gonna run with you.
Yep.
We talking about 85 South?
Yeah. 85 South is under the Black Effect.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's fire.
I think he has Just Hilarious has a podcast under him. Ebony K. Williams.
Also, Charlamagne using his platform to get black people
get his people
for the culture.
Like Professor X with the X-Men.
Yeah. For the culture. Realtors. Do you need some special aerial photography or video footage? Or maybe you need some stock footage of the city for your presentation? Or maybe a beautiful shot of a landmark just to hang on your wall? Well, time for you to check out DM NOLA Shots. They are a drone photography and videography company established in New Orleans who specialize in capturing aerial 4K video and photo. Check out the website at www.dmnolashotsllc.com or follow us on social media at DM NOLA Shots on Instagram and Facebook. DM NOLA Shots.
I brought up the question, what's the difference between platonic love and romantic love? And I had a situation where a young lady, she was like, how you love this other girl and not only you love me? And my thing was, I love you romantically where it's an emotional connection. I love this person where we just have a connection. It's not romantic or anything involved with sexually or emotionally. It's just, I love this person as a human being. This is a good friend. Mm-hmm. It's two different loves.
Right.
And she didn't understand. She was like, I don't get it. I'm like, there's a difference between... Think about it. I have a best friend, and her daughter is my godchild. Mm-hmm. And she was like, look, I want you to be my daughter's godfather. I'm like, okay, cool. And the love I have for her is a platonic love where you leave us on the island for a year, we won't have sex. Mm-hmm. And I'm cool with that. Because it's not there. And it's like, okay, I love you like I don't see you as somebody who I want to have sex with. I see you as a friend, as my homegirl who like a sister to me. So yeah,
we have these conversations.
Okay, Maya.
We have these conversations all the time, and a lot of women tend to have an issue, and men have an issue with females having those type of relationships because they feel like, oh no, the opposite sex, you can't be friends with opposite sex, but you can.
Right.
I don't have a problem with it. Not at all. I know you have many female friends that are like sisters.
Right.
And I call them sisters for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think part of that is that you just have to make the distinction.
Right. Yeah, you have to know the difference.
Keep that narrative set.
Yeah. You have to make the distinction, because if you don't make the distinction, that I think that's what plays more than, just being friends.
Oh yeah, and if you're in a relationship, the person can tell the difference if they really pay attention. Like we've spoke about your exes and their issues with him being, friends with these women or considering them. I never, not once, got that feeling that it was more than just merely that's my sister.
Right.
You can tell. You can tell when the man won't fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay? You can tell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's in how you move, it's in how you act, how you treat that person. Right. So I really feel like there's a major difference between platonic and a romantic love. Like, and you can tell it. And people will see it.
Right. Well, I think the main reason why I think you were able to just be cool, and just like, and see it for what it is that I learned from my own experiences about, having females and having that female energy around and what it does to like just a psyche or just a, psychology of, your psychology. And so I made the vow to not make some of those same mistakes that I made.
That's what you mean.
Because I think you met all of my sisters, so to speak, in an environment where that it wasn't a, it wasn't a tensionous, it wasn't an environment of tension. And so your guard was let down just a little bit more. Your guard wasn't as up as, previous relationships.
And then confidence have a lot to do with that too.
Right. Of course.
And knowing who you are.
Yeah.
As a woman or a man.
I know who my man
I
is.
know who I mean.
I know who my man is. Yeah. So.
Who are you?
Yeah. I'm Miss Andrew Bam, baby. You heard me? This is what we do.
I didn't say what your name is.
My name is. And so I think part of that problem is just that sometimes how it's presented, the environment that they meet,
right?
The people that you love,
right?
I just think of the circumstances that you meet them in, the way you're introduced. I think all that plays a part.
It does. It really does.
And so if there's a little detail left out, especially when it comes to women, being introduced to the to these ones that you have platonic love for.
But then
if you leave out a detail or two, it's just they're just known to be investigators.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. They had times where, which the last 3 women, relationship wise, it went from big brother sister to a romantic situation.
The thing about it is that if you leave those details out, or if you just leave a detail out, and Maya and I have had conversations about that, because it's like, well, why you ain't tell me that?
Right.
And I'm like, because at the time I wasn't thinking about talking about that shit. I mean, like, you see what's going on. You see it?
It's us men. We don't be thinking about some of that shit every time.
We're dirt roads. We're dirt roads. They're interstates.
Right.
That's the way their thinking goes. So it's like, you miss a detail. Right. You miss a detail. You be talking about now. We talking about a whole investigation now. We getting that you got to have all inquisition.
And now you got to sit up there, come up. Now you got to think deals. So like, damn, let me think this shit over. The whole time it's like, the whole 10 times out of 10, she got you thinking about some shit you never thought about.
Right.
Just to satisfy her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because
so
when we
it's
thought
mental
about this,
for us.
it's
It's mental.
I ain't thinking about this shit. Like,
It's
I thought
strictly
about
mental.
this straight route, Route 66.
It's going here.
This dirt road. If another car coming, I move over. They come, I get back on.
One this way, then one that way. That's
right.
That's us.
We
2-lane highway.
And then when they see me, I hit with the peace sign, hit with the peace sign. We keep going.
We switching lanes. We switching lanes.
I was just telling this to Nicole, one of the engineers. I was like, nah, man, here's the reality. Men are Highway 90.
Right.
Y'all are 10.
Right.
You know, so if there's a pebble in the road, you know, you ride that motorbike 85 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour, that pebble can, you know,
right,
it'll set you off.
And the whole time, it's like, think about it. It's going smooth. Think about Highway 90 is from Highway 90,
right?
Chef, Gentilly, Broad.
We're going 55.
We're going 55.
Right. And guess what? It's a smooth shot.
Just
I might have turns,
right?
Stop signs,
Yo,
but
man.
it's a smooth shot.
You know,
and I'm not trying to catch a flat tire on a smooth shot.
Right, exactly. Man, I was telling this to somebody else. You know, we're talking about, you know, that we were just talking about that type of thing, and I was like, look, baby, like you have to understand is that we are horse-drawn carriages,
right?
You know, going down Shuffman Tour,
right?
We're not like, you know, V8 sports cars
flying down Shelf.
You know, like or flying down Almanaster.
Right.
You know, we not that. We just we don't think like that. We don't move like that. That's just the reality.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's what that comes into play.
Right.
Because as a man, if she has a plutonic friend, Maya has a plutonic friend.
Right.
The only thing that would set my ears up or whatever is if I feel like that he's been trying to smash for a while, he just never got the opportunity.
Or they're not being casual.
Mm-hmm.
You're not being right. So, you know, if he's fighting me, you know, or in a tug of war with me to be the man, that's when I have a problem because I have this thing, you know, I'm starting to think that you want to be with my old lady.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
other than
you're
that,
not being casual, you're trying to be intimate.
Right. Mm-hmm. You know, so I guess
it's a big difference.
the word after the word it was intimate.
Right. Word of the day is what, y'all? Intimate.
Yeah.
Intimate.
All right. We are not necessarily celebrating, but we are remembering. This time about a year ago, we all were kind of just uprooted from our lives to deal with this pandemic and to kind of, I'm not say commemorate, but in remembrance of what has been going on for the past year, and hopefully we won't be dealing with any longer, which is just this coronavirus, and just the effects of what's happened as a result of coronavirus.
Right.
I'm posing the question, put it out there, are principally with some things that I believe that we've learned as a society and, you know, individually, what you think that we've learned from just this experience of being inside and all those things.
I'll say what I've learned is to not take hugs and going outside for granted.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, because being outside, when you can't go outside, you like, what the about to go crazy up in here.
Yeah.
I also learned that we as a people are very, very creative.
Yes,
we
indeed.
are. When our backs are against the wall, we will find all kind of ways. You know, like even for us when we were inside, what we did, let's go get on a bike.
Right.
Let's go skate. Let's take a walk. Let's do
blacks are adaptable.
Yeah.
We will adapt to some shit real quick and create some shit to keep moving. But I really have to say I appreciate just and will never take for granted hugging. I have not hugged my grandmother in over a year. So I am like, that's hard for me.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Because when they're older, that's the first thing you want to do. You hug and you kiss. So when you haven't hugged your people, you can't take it for granted no more, man.
Can't take it for granted.
I'm going to every concert, every party. Fuck that. I'm going to be on Red Bull. See when we over, oh yes. I'm going to everything.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which hopefully it ain't going to be that long, so.
Right. I think with me is two things. The pandemic showed me that there's nothing wrong with focusing on my individual self outside of my ventures, family, relationship and with job and just outside of everything. Where it's like, okay, you go home. This is your living space. You have to. It's a representation of you. You have to fix this. Before you go like fix everybody else's world and everything what they want to do, you have to fix yourself first. And another thing, since I already caught COVID, man, just help, man. Black people, vitamin C, water, the emergency,
and vitamin D. Outside.
Be on the force of your body.
Right? I'm talking about anything you could take, Bert. Man, I was almost asymptomatic, but that COVID shit is real.
Yeah.
This is everybody. This is real.
Ain't no punk.
Ain't no punk.
That shit is real.
Ain't for the weak.
But also, COVID taught me is that like learn how to occupy your time doing other things outside your comfort zone.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, like this podcast for me.
Right. This podcast. I mean,
I can't
this is
stand cameras.
Right.
I don't like cameras.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You know, this podcast for me was at least 3 years ago. You know, on my mind, and I just wanted to get the equipment and the wherewithal to dive in.
Right.
Just go for it.
But I always had something else that was prioritized over it.
And you look at me?
Yeah. Of course. Well, you know, when you are in a position where all of your income comes from one industry, I had multiple streams of income, but it all came from one industry, just the music industry, period.
Right.
So whether I was writing or recording or performing or just and I still have some mailbox money, so I'm good in that sense.
Drew, add applause for mailbox money. That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
That mailbox. Walk to the mailbox. They got that check in there. Okay.
Oh yeah, I that comes right on time. It may not come when you want it.
Be there right on time.
Be there right on time. So just for the majority of my work just to cease in one fell swoop, it brought me through a whirlwind of emotions because I've been doing this for 25 years now. And just for it to just cut off the way it can't cut off with no ending in sight.
Right.
I learned about my own resiliency.
Oh, yes.
I learned that you can do the things, everything that you want to set your mind to, you can do.
Right.
All the things that you have to understand is that there's 24 hours in a day.
Right.
And as long as you can put some time towards that every day and every little step, and that's what I kind of did. It took me some breakdowns. It took me through a whirlwind of emotions to find it. Yeah. But when I found it, which was only maybe about 2-3 months ago, I have a much more optimistic outlook about the way the world is going to be.
Right.
And I think we as a society have the same thing, because when you're talking about around the world, I remember they were talking about after only a month of lockdown, there were some places in Italy, beaches and that type of thing, where the water cleared out. The waters were green clear and brown and all that type of stuff. But
and then it was
only took a month.
Beautiful.
It only took a month for it to be clear again.
I guess the planet had the detox.
And I think that is the thing that we probably need to get from this pandemic. This pandemic showed us that every little once in a while, the planet needs to cleanse itself. We need to understand the severity of keeping our bodies right, those type of things. And I'm, in a sense, it made me a lot more grateful than I've ever been in my entire life.
I know, because it showed just how much I love you, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't walk away. I didn't walk.
Yeah.
Could have walked away.
Yeah,
No, I'm
No,
just
I know, man.
I wouldn't do that.
You ain't going nowhere at the main.
You know, but like,
No.
But at the end of the day, it's just and so for me going forward, I've been able to practice a little bit more gratefulness. When somebody does something for you, it's like, man, you're just so appreciative. Yeah, you can appreciate it a lot better because, and hopefully this generation can kind of get that, But you're asking a lot for $2.
I was just about to say because they still spending like ain't nothing happened.
Right.
Like ain't nothing happened. You just in school virtual.
Right.
Look, you in school 99% of the time virtually. Yeah. But they still spending like ain't nothing happening. Right. Outside doing things.
You can be in your bed, and learn stuff and just
get out the bed. Son.
I don't know, man. It is what it is.
He be in the bed.
We can have that's for another discussion for another 6 hours. Yeah, so anyway, we're going to conclude right here. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank Maya
thank you
for coming through once again. I think this core is going to be a lot more of you, and it's just see a lot of more of the core. Roast Beef Jenkins.
Yo.
Irv Darby.
Irv Darby, Swear Music, Roast Beef Jenkins. Roast Beef Jenkins.
I love it.
That's in my words. Al Hammond, the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a podcast you want to do, come holler at me. We're going to make some work today.
Make it work.
Al Hammond, the podcast. Give me a percentage and we're going to make sure you up there.
Yes, sir.
City Boys, we up.
On point.
City Boys, we up.
Yes, indeed. And once again, we'd like to thank Living Swell Studios for the space in the new media room. So, the space, if you just need a space.
You are living swell, though.
I am living swell. I'm going to live swell. We're going to do all day.
Brother,
so
we got to get
the new
Brother
media
Walt
room.
on here.
So you got podcasts. We have a number of different looks for you to come and check it out. And, of course, Irv Darby. Probably going to produce your stuff, all that good stuff.
Sir.
So, if you got it, come on out. Great deals. Anyways, until next time, peace.